Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to another YouTube video. Today I thought I would finally play around with my brand new freestanding punch bag. The last video I did, I unboxed this. I showed you a little bit of what I would normally do on it, and then I gave it a little bit of a review. And so today I thought I would do a bit of a workout and I would talk about the things that I do when I incorporate this into my home workouts. Now, I am a little bit sweaty. I say a little bit, I'm quite sweaty. And the reason is because I've already done a push workout. I've just finished a home chest and shoulder workout using a few of the bits of equipment that I have in sort of my home gym setup. It's not really a home gym. I've just got sort of an adjustable dumbbell, some kettlebells and a resistance band. But I am able to fit a selection of exercises together to create a pretty good workout. Now obviously it's nowhere near the same as if I were able to go to the gym. However, you make the most of what you've got, and I still got a good sweat on. I still was able to target the key areas that I wanted to target, and I got a pretty good workout in. I am going to do a video or a series of selection of videos on some home workouts, and I do quite enjoy doing home workouts. It's not the same as being in the gym, but they will be coming very soon. Anyway, on to the workout with this. Now, first and foremost, you don't actually need a freestanding punch bag to do any of these exercises, although it does really help. If you are in a household and you have a partner, a friend, whoever, and you have some mitts, some boxing gloves, you'll be able to do something similar. Alternatively, you can shadow box. It's not quite the same. There's nothing better than actually being able to punch a punch bag or punching pads. I really enjoy punching pads. However, you can still get an excellent workout in. So, enough of the talking. Without further ado, guys, let's get straight into it. Alright, one thing that I am going to mention before I actually talk about what I do with this, I want to briefly talk about some sort of safety stuff. Now obviously if you're shadow boxing, this does not apply, but if you're using anything and you're actually hitting stuff, be that a punch bag like this, or if you are sparring or doing some pad work, there are going to be some things that you want to invest in before you start your workouts, just to make sure that you don't injure yourself. The first thing and the most important thing is something to protect your hands. Your knuckles, alright, they are pretty delicate, alright, they're the joints where your knuckles are, both for all of your fingers really, are very delicate. And so putting a lot of pressure into punching a pad, all of that is going to first go through, the impact is going to go through those knuckles. And the last thing you want is broken hands, and that just is not going to be very pleasant. We want this to be a positive experience. So invest in some gloves. I have just got a 10 ounce, you can see that there, 10 ounce pair of Lonsdale gloves. These were a little purchase. They come to about £15 from Sports Direct. Obviously alternatives are on the market. These are very basic, and if you are putting some heavy work into a pad, I would recommend spending a little bit more money on a pair of decent gloves. You can use the MMA style. They don't offer that much protection for the sort of knuckles, but there is something there. It is definitely better than just using nothing. Now we have cleared all of that up and we are ready to get into it. Now, before we do get into it, I do want to make it really clear that I am not a boxer. I do jiu-jitsu, so I am a martial artist, and so hitting pads is something I'm very familiar with. I have done a lot of boxing in gyms, and I have had people that do box teach me and show me a variety of drills, but I'm not a boxer, so if you are a boxer and you're watching this, I'm sorry. But no, this is just a really good idea for those of you that just want to include this into your workout. This is a lot of fun. I'm going to start off by just showing you guys a jab and a cross. These are sort of the bread and butter punches. Now, if we get into a nice stance, one leg will be in front of the other. In my case, I am dominant with my right hand, so my left leg is in front because my more powerful, dominant right hand is going to be coming through. Now, the first punch is a jab. A jab is that lead arm is going to poke out, like so. If I'm hitting the pad, this is my jab. Now the jab is designed to be sort of a punch to keep distance. You don't tend to see people knocking out with jabs although there are a lot of people that have very powerful jabs, but this is sort of like the punch that you see boxers keeping people at bay with. And then you have the cross. The cross is the much more powerful punch. The cross is sort of the rear hand that comes through for that knockout. All right? They are also considered as like 1-2. So if you're listening to like boxing lingo and they say 1-2, 1-2, it is jab cross. So 1-2, 1-2. Now, if you want to stop there and that's enough for you, fantastic. You can incorporate the jab and the cross in a great little workout, skipping around the bag, and we're going to do that now. Alright, so as you can see there, just a few little 1-2s, bouncing in and out. Again, when you're doing this, if you're looking at it as like a fun method of cardio, sort of skip around with it, be nice and light on your feet as you're doing these 1-2s. You may have seen at some point there, I was kind of just doing this quickly. I call this a pummel. So you're just looking to, in quick succession, throw lots of punches. So it's okay, one of the biggest things, and because I'm now talking, I am a little bit out of breath having just done that. Make sure that you are breathing ideally in between each punch. So you're making sure you're sucking oxygen in, exhaling it out. Because the last thing you want, well, not necessarily the last thing you want, but you want to try and go as many rounds on this as possible to really have a good solid workout. And the first thing that will happen if you don't and you're holding your breath and you go is you'll gas out and you'll be there like 30 seconds later trying to really suck in that oxygen. So in between each punch, get that nice flow of oxygen going into your lungs and it will help fuel you throughout that workout. Okay guys, so we've done the jab, we've done the cross, the 1-2. We've thought about how we can incorporate this into a bit of a workout by itself. Now, if you've done that and you're like, oh yeah, I found that pretty good, we can now move into the 3 and the 4. 3 and the 4 are 2 hooks. So here and here. Now when we're doing these, what we want is we want to try and keep our elbow close-ish to our body. What I mean by that is I don't want your arm fully extended. I want you to have a nice bend here on your elbow. So if I'm punching the bag, my elbow is bent here. Now you are with these aiming for the chin, okay? So you are coming up high, don't be like down here, down low. Hands up and you're aiming up high. Okay, so if I'm hitting my pad, I'm aiming up high. Now, as I said, this is quite a small pad. It's 5'5". However, you get the drift. I am aiming up high with it. Now, to be honest, with these punches, you wouldn't necessarily just do a workout using these two. Like, I wouldn't just spend a whole workout just going, because it gets very repetitive. They are designed to be quite heavy punches. So I would probably do a few of my 1-2s and then I would throw some sort of bigger punches in. So let's start incorporating them, making sure we're keeping that nice bend in our elbow. Okay guys, one of the things that I want you to make sure you're doing with this is you're very aware of how your hand is. Now, just before we go any further, now when you're punching, if you imagine the anatomy, I know I'm going all limp here, you've obviously got bones going from each knuckle up to your wrist. Now when you punch, you want to make sure that whichever part of your fist you're punching with, the bones are aligned with your forearm. So if I'm punching with these two, I want to make sure that they're lined up, so that when my fist hits the pad, my wrist isn't going to jerk to the side either way. Yeah, because obviously our wrist is fairly flexible in that sense, it can move quite a lot. But when we're putting all that force in, we want to make sure it's not going to be turning in its place, because all that pressure is going to go through our wrist. Another reason why wearing wraps is a good idea. Okay, with these punches especially, this is where you might start to hurt yourself if you're not careful. What I'd recommend is, especially if you're not looking to be, I don't know, the next Mike Tyson, when you go for these punches, you can be nice and light with them. All right, if you're just looking at it from a workout standpoint to incorporate it for cardio, okay, you can be nice and light. You don't have to really go hell for leather. And if you do, just be aware that you're aiming for this, so it's a nice, solid wrist. And obviously here, because my 3 fingers here, my little knuckles here are lined up, I'd be trying to aim for that part of my fist, not the top, because that will jar my hand. Okay, so just be aware of that when you are hitting the pad. Okay guys, and that leads us on to the last 2 punches. Now, as a bit of a disclaimer, there is an uppercut. I'm not going to talk to you guys about the uppercut, because on a pad like this, I don't think that it's relevant to try and uppercut it. You're just going to hurt yourself if you're not careful. So I'm going to disclude that completely from this video. If you are doing sort of pad work with a partner, just hold your pad like this and they can punch up. We've done 1, 2. We've done 3, 4. Now we're moving on to 5, 6. Now these are very similar to 3 and 4, but we're going for the body. So rather than those up high headshots, we're going for floating ribs, that kind of area. Now, in terms of the motion and how we're punching, I want you to keep it very similar to the last 2, but I want you to drop down low, okay? So you're gauging and then you're putting this punch in, all right? So we're aiming for that nice low punch into the body. So on the pad, you're aiming up high for the top 2, but then you're aiming down lower, sort of your hip height really, in the middle of the pad, for these ones, just like so. And now really all it is about having some fun with your punch bag or your partner, depending on what setup you have at home. So you can incorporate a mix of all of it and just have some fun. This is good. Honestly, I'm so happy I bought this thing. This thing is a lot of fun. Having boxing as part of your workouts is so good. It gets the heart rate up, gets you all sweaty. I love it. What I'd recommend, you obviously saw a selection of different types of punches there. You know, you've got your 1, 2, jab, cross, your 3, 4, your hooks, and then your 5, 6 being your sort of like big body shots here. Set yourself a timer, okay? If you have just started, you know, using boxing as part of a workout, or you're doing some free boxing, okay? So for the free boxing, exactly the same, but you're not hitting anything. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you can get just a good workout in without physically hitting anything. Okay, and if you want to practice your technique, then I recommend still doing so, even if you do have one of these. I do it a lot. You know, when I'm doing jitsu, my students will often see me just doing this randomly in the corner. Set yourself a timer. Start off with a minute. You can move it up to like 2 or 3 minutes. Do about 5 of those and you'll be dripping by the end of it. You'll have so much fun. Okay guys, so there we have it. First workout with the new bag. I love it. It's a great little addition. You can obviously do this as sort of your cardio, be it in the morning, or you know, tag it onto the end of a workout like I have done this evening, where I've done a push workout with my chest and shoulders, and then I've done a bit of pad work afterwards. My biggest thing is, if you're not sure or you've never really hit pad work before, just be careful of your hands, because it's so easy to just, you know, pull something or hurt yourself. You know, take it slow to start off with, don't go hell for leather on it, and as you start to get a bit more confident and you start feeling the pad out and you start feeling your punches out, you can then go a bit harder. Alright, I am going to wrap the video up now. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please hit that like button. If you want to comment, be that correct me on my form, or ask me anything about jitsu or boxing or anything in between, comment down below. And as always, guys, please consider subscribing. Right, I think that's it. I need to eat and have a shower. Yeah. One other thing, for everybody who watched me do the unboxing of this and sort of the review, you obviously will have heard me talk a little bit about the base of this and the water. Now, I filled it up with water, it was working fine, it still is working fine, it's working really well, but there is a bit of leakage. Now, I have put a little towel under here, and I will definitely invest in some sand for this instead of water, so if you're watching this video and you've not yet filled your bad boy up, I probably recommend sand, because as good as the bung is, doesn't take much pressure, and it sloshes around, and you don't really want a wet floor. The towel is working, it's soaking it up, it's not much, but I don't want you damaging your floors. Yeah. Bye, guys.